Okay, here we go again. Here we go again. Men and women of the world, here we go again. You sick people are back for another video. Oh my god, it just keeps getting funnier every single day. Panasonic, let me check the audio. Good day. Oh yeah, we are good. Let's just leave everything. Let's just fucking leave it this time. I'm not changing any settings. I'll tell you who is making some changes though, and that's Panasonic, because they are releasing a new camera. Are they going to use photographs from another company this time? I don't think so. I think they're going to take their own photos from their own cameras and put that in their own press releases. Wouldn't that make sense? I only found out about that a few days ago. Didn't do a video about it. Just letting it go. Letting it go through to the keeper. Didn't want to embarrass Panasonic any more than they already have, and they're sponsoring all my videos. Thanks again for the $2,000 for this one. They sponsor my videos and I keep embarrassing them, and I just don't want to damage the relationship, if you know what I mean. Alright folks, new camera, 5th of June. You know, that's June 5th is like the American way of putting it. Everyone else is like 5th of June, but hey, it's an American fucking dominated market, so we'll go with the America version. June 5th. The pressure is on. Boy, oh boy. And where am I getting this information from? M43 Rumors. Andrea's site. Better not be wrong. But from what I understand, even if it's not June 5th, there's another camera coming pretty fucking soon. Here I am getting tongue-tied. A new camera coming pretty soon, but let's say it's June 5th, which is 4 or 5 days away, depending where you are. I gotta say that I really hope it's M43. It's a little too soon for a GH7. However, there is one theory that because of the GH6 issues, in order to rescue that line, they might want to release a GH7 relatively quickly. However, I don't think they should, but it could be a GH6 Mark II with phase detect. That's another theory, but as far as the timing goes, it has been about 2 years now, I think, since the GH6 came out. But in my view, if you go to phase detect, it's such a big change that it really warrants, you know, you might as well call it a new camera, right? A GH7 at least, not just a 6 Mark II. The other thing is, I think the GH6 sensor is not going to appear in any other camera because of the streaking issue, and so I can't see them releasing a GH6 Mark II with that streaky sensor. No one's going to want that. But then again, Panasonic have been dropping the ball lately, so maybe that's what's going to happen. I think more likely there's going to be a GM1, GM5 style of camera, because it would be a great commercial experiment for Panasonic to have the S9, the notorious S9, being released pretty much at the same time as a similar sort of idea in some ways in Micro Four Thirds, and just see two modern cameras, new releases, same market, same company, see which one brings in the money, see which one sells better. Notwithstanding that there could be all kinds of other differences between them aside from the sensor size, but you might say, well, maybe they wouldn't want to compete against the S9. if they release a compact M4 III, people will be like, oh, I'd rather get that. But maybe that's what they want to find out. I don't know. I look at the S9 and I think it wouldn't have taken much for them to develop that camera. You know, plastic body, same lens mount they always use, nothing special about the sensor, standard IBIS, no EVF, chuck some time limits on the recording, they don't have to worry about cooling it. I don't think that camera took a long time to develop, which might explain why there were a few oversights. Lack of weather sealing is a huge problem. However, we'll have to wait and see what the next camera is and whether that also has some shortcomings. If it is a little GM5, I think that would be a great moment for Panasonic. And not really, I mean, I can't afford it at the moment. Panasonic need to pay me a bit more for these videos, but I would be interested in buying a very compact M4 III. The only one I have is an Olympus Pen Lite, which has a broken LCD, and it's like, oh man, do I get that repaired or not? It would probably cost about what the camera would be worth to get repaired. And you can actually buy them, and you can buy the little leaf cable. That's the bit that breaks, I think, is that cable. And do it yourself. But anyway, that's another story. I'm just saying that we all want that small camera that we can just put in our bag and run. Like when I go for walks up along the coast, and even the GH5, it's just a bit too big with the 12 to 35. But the 12 to 35 is not a small lens. I'd like something with, say, even if it was just f4, like a little 12 to 60, or even, not even 12, but like 15 to 60 f4. It doesn't have to be fast lens, and lightweight, maybe something without stabe, just so it's extra compact if you've got stabe on the camera. I hope that they can do, I guess with Panasonic, you can say they could do a super compact camera which doesn't have stabe and maybe doesn't have an EVF. I think if they cut out the EVF, they should have an accessory EVF that can go in via a hot shoe. I think they really would make good money from that accessory, and it would help the camera sell. They get a lot of praise from the influencer community, and it'd be a nice little package, I think. They could do another camera that's just a bit bigger, kind of like an Olympus Pen sized camera, but now it's got the stabe, and that allows you to take all your little compact lenses that don't have the stabe. I think really that's the best combination. I don't think I would buy, as cute as a GM1 is, I don't think I would buy something just because it's that small and cute. There's a point where it doesn't really matter anymore as it gets smaller. But I think something that's like Olympus Pen kind of size, it's just got the stabe in there, EVF of some kind, it could be built in, but whatever, and it doesn't have to do much. It takes some nice photos. It doesn't have to have the 5.7K. I think that's bullshit. Even if it could do 4K 30 unlimited and 4K 60 with a time limit, I'd take that. But perhaps a more of a photo-oriented camera, and with the M4 III format, that'd be amazing. And why Olympus or OM Systems isn't doing that, I've got no idea. Like whoever's the management at OM Systems is either terrible, or they just don't have the money to do what they want. I think OM Systems is going to get bought out by another company. I don't know which one. you could speculate. There are a few names, but item systems, the future is looking very shaky. Panasonic, part of a much bigger company, the Lumix flagship brand, I think it's got the staying power. I think they're going to hang around. But having another offering of something really compact, and I'm not that familiar with like the GX cameras and all of that shit, but something that's just a little more fun. They tried to do it with the S9. They've acknowledged that aspect of a camera is commercially important, but they chose the wrong sized sensor. Make it really fun. Put it on M4 III. Make it really compact. Not necessarily stupid compact like GM1, but fairly compact. Even if they just took the GM5, which I think had an EVF. Let me quick Google. But with the GM5, did it have an EVF? If they just re-released it almost exactly the same. Yes, looks like GM5 does have the EVF. So 1.16 million EVF. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to get a shot of the back of the camera here, but oh yeah, there it is. Look, the GM5 is such. It fixed that one. I don't know if it has IBIS, but fixed that EVF, not having an EVF issue. It doesn't stick out much. It's fine. Just release the GM5 again. Call it the GM6. Keep it almost exactly the same. Even if it still has like the old video formats, people are going to buy it just for photos and video backup. Not even backup, but if we can just do 1080p 30, people are going to love it. Yeah, the GM5. What a great fucking camera, and it's forgotten. Everyone talks about the GM1. The GM5 is the one you want. I don't think it's got IBIS to still control it. I don't think it does. So yeah, you wouldn't expect it to. So yeah, guys, something like that coming out. I think it's more likely to be like a GM style than a GH style. The next question is, how are Panasonic going to handle the release? Because the last one was a shit show. I mean, it probably seemed like the day of the release, everything seemed fine, probably. Like, no one leaked it, or the influencers had gone home, they all released their videos on time, they were all saying positive things, everyone was happy. Little did they know that the public was sitting back watching this and saying, what the fuck? Why are they trying to sell this camera with so many flaws? Why are they glossing it over it? Why are they all saying the same fucking thing? It's like they're all singing from the same song sheet. It's like Panasonic wrote the script for all of them. All the reviews that I watched were pretty much fucking identical. You can't call yourself a creator when what you're making is so predictable and paid for. And someone worked out only 2 of them who went over disclosed that the trip was paid for. That's what got me. Like, the first few videos I watched, nobody said that they paid for it. I forget who said it first, but Panasonic did pay for the trip. So did those same people get a second camera and they're all going to release videos about that camera? That would be kind of lame, be more efficient from Panasonic's viewpoint. I almost feel like Panasonic spent too much money just for that S9. So it kind of adds up that, they flew all those people over. They're saying it was a $500,000 stunt. to me, kind of makes more sense if they had two cameras for them to test and review. So will there be, look, it's the same people, whether or not that's the case, it's going to be the same people talking about it. Somewhere around the world, people receive this camera. It's got to be the same people, right? Panasonic's going to stick with who they can trust. The sellouts, the camera prostitutes, the shills. We know who they are. Panasonic will stick with them. Either they were sent one in the mail or they got one in Japan. It'd be odd if... See, international shipping isn't fast enough to have sent one out after the Japan... Well, I shouldn't say, because I don't know exactly when they were in Japan, but it wouldn't have been fast enough to ship it out from release date of S9 to now. So the influencers would have known about it before the S9 release. So I'm guessing if you connect the dots, the same influencers have already... If this is real and this isn't just a fake rumor, if it really is a June 5th release date, we're going to see the same influencers telling us that they got their hands on it in Japan. I bet they're like... By the way, I've been a little bit surprised how quiet some of those accounts have been since the controversy erupted over their paid endorsements. Maybe one of the reasons they're quiet, because they could be cashing in on the views, right, on the clicks, by getting involved with the drama and all that. So maybe they're staying away because they don't want to get mud on themselves. Or maybe they're busy editing and now re-editing their release videos for this next camera on June the 5th. That would kind of make sense. It's all, guys, all the TikTok pieces are coming together. We're getting the picture. They're all furiously editing and making their reviews more critical than they probably were. Going over every last flaw in the camera. Full disclosure that, Panasonic paid for the trip and all that. That's probably what's going on if there really is a camera coming out in the next few days. If this rumor is false and the camera's not we know there's another camera not too far away. It's probably going to be something compact in micro four thirds, and in that case there might be another trip to Japan or another round of just sending cameras out, and we'll learn about it in 2 months time or something. A couple of people just putting it out there that maybe this is ASPC, this next release. That would be weird. Like, they've got so much investment in M4 thirds with all their lenses and everything. I just can't see them doing that. I guess if you're going to try a new sensor size, at some point you have to break fresh ground. But I just think that they'll be trying to consolidate the M4 III market, at least for, I think, a few more years. Where M4 III is 10 years from now, I don't know. But I think they'll want to just consolidate things a little bit. Get this compact out. And then the GH6 II or the GH7 might come next year. Mid to late next year. But I'm not convinced there'll be a GH7 in 2025. But there could be. It's around that 50% mark. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think it's ASPC, guys. Could it be something even smaller than M4 III? I mean, will Panasonic try and do like a tough camera? If they do, I hope it's a 1-inch sensor so it beats the Olympus TG7 and TG6. I actually have a TG6. Super useful camera. And yeah, that would be a great product. No one's talking about a Panasonic tough camera. But again, it's that if Panasonic, look, OM Systems is probably fucked. If Panasonic wants to make it as this sort of alternative sensor size camera company, I mean, they're kind of going over the full frame, but they're still a bit of an alternative brand. It would really help them to have something like the TG6. With a 1-inch sensor, it'd be a killer. I don't think that Panasonic and Olympus really understand just how tech savvy the consumer marketplace is. I just think no one's going to know it's a 1/2.33 versus a 1 inch. I think no one cares about that. Yes, they do. I was speaking to a relative a few months ago, I guess, and he's not a digital camera guy, but even he said he wanted something with a 1 inch sensor. I think he got a Sony of some kind, for underwater photography. People know. So that's just an out there. That's like a left field possibility. If it's not a compact M4.3 and it's not a GH7 and it's not a tough cam and it's not an ASPC, the only other thing would be like a fixed camera with a small sensor to compete with that 1 inch market. So not a tough cam, not super rugged and waterproof, but just something that's probably got a fixed lens, 1 inch sensor for extra image quality. I'm guessing Panasonic are not going to do a 1/2.3. I don't think they will go that low. But a 1 inch? See, it's funny, Panasonic, Lumix have been around for, what? How far back does Lumix go? 15 years or something? They've been around for quite a while. It's kind of amazing there are still some really obvious boxes in terms of their product range that have not been ticked. And that, I mean, unless I'm wrong and they have a 1 inch camera, but if they have, I haven't heard of it. A 1 inch sensor, fixed lens, interchangeable 1 inch lens camera would be amazing. Oh my god, that would set the world on fire. If they did what was that little Pentax that was something like that? If they basically embraced that concept, and I don't think they're bold enough to. That'd be something that maybe Ricoh would do. I can't see Panasonic doing it. Ricoh is Pentax, by the way. So maybe, though, a fixed lens 1 inch is the last possibility. With just a full frame equivalent, maybe like 14 to whatever. It could be anything. I mean, some of the super zoom lenses on cameras from, not 15, but from about 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, are unbelievable. I have a Pentax and it's tack sharp. It's like 580 millimeters full frame equivalent, fully zoomed in. They call it super zoom when there's such a huge range, and it's sharp as a tack. And the fucking thing is from I think it's 2012. It's either called a K5 or an X5. It's the cheaper one. It's the cheaper one of the two. It has a fucking IBIS in it. Like, what the hell? This is like 5 years before the GH5. It wasn't called an IBIS though. They called it shake reduction. So you'll see the SR on the front of the camera. Anyway, guys, back to Panasonic. I think it's cool that there are those unchecked boxes because we don't know what's coming. It just brings the anticipation, and we've got years of new releases to look forward to, and I hope a lot of drama because let's face it, the drama is more entertaining than the camera, really. And it's also great publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. So Panasonic pumping out the cameras, pumping out the drama, a few little deliberate fuck-ups here and there. Hey, maybe that that photo claimed by Panasonic but taken by Nikon or whatever, maybe that was just to get the controversy going. Like how Elon Musk smashed the window of his Cybertruck just to get attention. That's probably what's going on here, guys. It's just clever marketing, guys. It's clever marketing. Panasonic have all the ideas. The S9 was just to generate a shitload of attention. Now all eyes are on Panasonic. And now they're going to hit us with the most amazing M4.3 compact camera that you've ever fucking seen. That is my prediction. I'm going to leave it there. See you in the next.